Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to Ditch Alcohol and Discover Your Purpose workshop. We're on day 4 today. Thank you so much for joining me for this incredible ride, this incredible week of this workshop. Welcome back to day 4. We started out on day 1 sharing all about incredible gifts you get from reevaluating the relationship you have with alcohol, how much more gratitude and presence and confidence and courage and energy you get from it. On day 2, we asked ourselves, okay, well, now from this vantage point, now from this position, what do I really want in my life, right? And we really allowed ourselves to dream big with no limits. I loved reading your comments. I'm still reading through them. They're so incredible. I love the big dreams. Amazing. Like, there's nothing that lights me up more than a woman who is brave enough to share her big dreams. It's just so inspiring, so brave, and it just really makes me know that we do have the power to change the world. And then in day 3, we kind of talked to that negative voice inside of us, that inner critic that is a little pessimistic about our dreams coming true, right? And how to really defeat that voice and how to find new evidence for your beliefs so that you have empowering ones, reframes of all the old beliefs, different evidence, poking the holes, and then really finding new evidence. And today I really want to talk about the confidence and lifestyle that you need to go after your dreams, right? Because it's not just that we have this big idea and we have this dream to be able to fulfill it. We need some kind of strategy, some kind of support, some kind of system to be able to do it that really relies on a growth and confident lifestyle. Now, today I really also want to address kind of the elephant in the room because we're talking so much about purpose and dreams, and it's like, well, where does alcohol kind of come into this and play a role into this? And, obviously I started out as an alcohol-free life coach. I continue to help women ditch alcohol, but I also really help women discover their purpose, achieve their dreams. I help women launch businesses, grow businesses, and we have a certification program running right now to help women become coaches as well. So my business does a lot of different things on multiple different levels and multiple different stages of someone's journey. And why I care so much about helping you achieve your bigger dreams and your bigger purpose is this. Let me read this quote from you. This is from Robin Sharma. He has some incredible books out there. He has a book called The 5 a.m. Club. He has Everyday Hero Manifesto. He has this very astute, mindful wisdom. He's an Indian man and he's a really great author. Anyway, this is his quote, and this is just why I'm so passionate about helping people discover their dreams as they clear their relationship with alcohol. Fill your brain with giant dreams so there's no room for petty pursuits. Let me say it again. Fill your brain with giant dreams so there's no room for petty pursuits. And to me, when I really, really look back at my relationship with alcohol, I was drinking because I was looking for something to fill me up. I was looking for some source of fun, excitement in my life. I was looking for something to do. Literally alcohol became the highlight of my week, right? The reward of putting up with all the stuff I didn't want to put up with, right? And I'm sure you can relate if you've got a busy life and a busy job, right? Alcohol became that reward for you. And so in that way, I became so short-sighted in looking at only this immediate gratification. I wasn't looking at the bigger picture of what would really fulfill me, what would really bring me joy in my life. How can I shift my life so that alcohol isn't the highlight of my week, right? So that I have so much more to look forward to. And I really do believe that when women find their dreams and activate their power and go after what they really want, not only is that an incredible, fulfilling feeling, but they end up really helping other people and serving the world. And then the ability to give back and to grow and to contribute and to make a difference is so freaking fulfilling as well. And so let me repeat the quote for you one more time. Fill your brain with giant dreams so there's no room for petty pursuits. And this is why we're doing this workshop. This is why we're in this alcohol-free group, asking ourselves what we want next, because this is the road to a sustainable alcohol-free lifestyle, right? So that alcohol doesn't keep coming back as this option, as this alluring romantic ideal, because you are going after so much bigger and better things. Alcohol just gets smaller and smaller and smaller in the rearview window, right? It becomes really, truly something you don't want anymore because you're so excited about what you can have instead. And that, my friends, I think is really, truly the secret to a sustainable, long, alcohol-free lifestyle. Now, today, though, now that we have that kind of proposition set up for us, I really want to talk about what kind of lifestyle we have to build in order to attain that. And the thing is that we do have to address that alcohol played a role in our lives. We have to address that, right? There's so much healing that still needs to be done there. There's so many reasons why alcohol played a role. Like, right? Obviously, if you know me and anything about my work, I am so persistent and just really, really like to hone this in that everyone has a relationship with alcohol based on really two global reasons, right? We get socialized into it. So alcohol isn't something that you do in a vacuum, right? Everybody had some social pressure to start drinking in their lives or some social expectation to do so, right? So it becomes the norm in social settings and we continue to reinforce it over and over and over again. And then when you have that social pressure, you also start picking up a habit yourself, right? And the power of habits is so strong, even when we're not talking about an addictive substance, right? Like this example I love to use is think about how powerful you have an urge when you wake up in the morning to go brush your teeth, right? You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, my breath is bad, my teeth are grimy, I really want to go brush my teeth. And in a way, you are addicted to that habit, right? You are addicted to brushing your teeth in the morning. Now, that's not a bad thing. That's an amazing thing. We want you to have a clean mouth and we want you to brush your teeth. But now think of it this way. It's because you've repeated this habit for so many times. You've repeatedly brushed your teeth every single morning as long as you can probably remember. And you know, there was a time and era where people didn't brush their teeth, right? It wasn't even that long ago that brushing our teeth was a foreign concept. You know, so when we have done something over and over and over again, hundreds, thousands and thousands of times, it gets so ingrained into our brain as a habit. And now if you think about it, there's nothing about toothpaste or the toothbrush itself or anything to do with that that's actually even chemically addictive, and alcohol is. So not only do we repeat this habit over and over and over again, right? How many times have we all drank in our lives? It's more than this. It's like hundreds, if not thousands of times. We ingrain the habit into our brain. We ingrain the reward cycle into our brain. So those things are happening, global things are happening to everyone who drinks, right? But we also have our own unique story. We have our own unique, what I call relevancy of why alcohol came to play an important role in our life. And now this can vary from person to person and can be super unique, but I've also found some really, really common reasons. So for example, a lot of people think that they're not enough on their own, right? And this isn't something you like consciously think about when you like think about drinking, like, I'm not enough. I need alcohol to make me better. But it's like this subconscious thing. Like, I'm not enough. I'm not confident enough. I'm not sociable enough. I just don't feel good in my skin enough. And so alcohol comes to play this role of boosting you up, of making you feel like a different person, right? And there's also this need that some people have to completely turn off, right? There's too much pain. There's too much negativity in the brain. There's too much to do. It's just, I want to numb. I just want to numb, right? So that often comes up as a unique relevancy as well as numbing, right? Numbing and or using alcohol to turn into a different version of yourself. There's all these different ways that alcohol played a unique role in our lives. And when we go alcohol free, it's a chance to heal those things. It's a chance to really grow as a person. And now if you think about it, all the different things you have to grow through in order to be happily alcohol free, I mean, think of just what you have to do in context of society. I mean, first of all, you have to be okay with being different, right? Everybody else is still drinking. You are not. And now you have to be okay with being the one that's not drinking, right? So it's like loving yourself enough to choose yourself, even when other people are doing something different, right? It's like the permission to not fit in, the permission to stand out, the permission to be different from everyone else, right? That is a challenge to work through. And especially in the first few months alcohol free, it can feel really awkward to navigate that. And you're just not sure of yourself. And it kind of still feels maybe embarrassing at points, so that has to be healed and cleared. And then there's, people pleasing, right? Like other people might egg us on and want us to drink with them. And oftentimes we think that we're serving other people by saying yes to that. And so letting go of people pleasing is so huge. Putting up boundaries, right? Like maybe we have toxic friends or toxic family members or just situations we don't want to engage in anymore, like if it's not fun for you to go to a club at 2 a.m., like it's not fun for you, right? Alcohol isn't going to change that. It only numbs you to the fact that it's not fun. Like you're allowed to have a boundary and do what you actually really want to do in your social time, not the things that, you feel like you have to do, right? There's healing the reasons why you drank. Like, for example, since I drank for so many reasons because both I was bored, right? Like I was bored and I didn't have fulfillment, so I had to actually find fulfillment in my life. Another big reason was I didn't think I was enough on my own, right? I was a really, really shy kid. I'm introverted, and so alcohol came to be this magical elixir that turned me into a better version of myself, or so I thought. And so I had to do some really, really deep healing and growing in order to not only accept and love myself and build up the strengths within myself, build up the strengths to be more confident, right? But I also had to continue growing myself, like continue growing to myself so that I did find myself so worthy and lovable, right? And so there's all these unique things, right? If we're numbing pain, for example, then we need to heal that pain. We need to process that pain in order to continue growing and continue moving. So today is really kind of reconciling everything we've talked about on this workshop about really going for our bigger dreams and really wanting to achieve the life we want to live. The secret into that, in addition to taking action and believing in yourself and reframing the beliefs that don't serve you, we need to go back into our relationship with alcohol and really be sure that we've cleared it and we become confident non-drinkers, right? And becoming a confident non-drinker, again, isn't easy in our society. We get such a big expectation placed on us that drinking is the status symbol, is the cool symbol, and it feels so weird and awkward to go alcohol-free. I mean, do people are going to assume that you had a problem? Are they going to assume this? Are they going to assume that? Like, you have to work through all these things in your brain and clear the reasons why you were drinking in the first place. And now, obviously, this is nuanced, and everyone's journey is going to be a little different, and this is why I love to work with you personally and become emboldened in order to do so. So become emboldened opens today, and we are going to announce that to you and share all the links with you so you can join. It's a 4-month group coaching program for women who are already taking a break from alcohol and or alcohol free, who want to do these things, who want to heal the reasons why they drink, make alcohol just small in their rear view window and start working on their big dream instead. But anyways, so I'm saying it's super unique to you and it's super, nuanced depending on your journey and where you are in life. But, we have to cultivate a type of lifestyle that will enable us to do so, right? We have to cultivate a lifestyle of growth and confidence in order to do so. Confidence in your alcohol-free lifestyle and really negating and changing all the beliefs that tell you to not be confident in it, but then also attaining a lifestyle of growth, right? And so let's break this down. Like, I know I'm being really conceptual right now. Let's break this down into just like the day, right? What does a day look like when you're living it aligned to this growth lifestyle and healing kind of your confidence and rebuilding it? So first of all, right, like just recognizing that no one is actually born with confidence. No one is born with confidence. We always assume that. Like, I've always assumed that I was just this non-confident person. I was really quiet, you guys. Like, I can still be quiet in a social setting. Like, I always thought that some other people just had it and I didn't. And it's so funny, especially if you're an introvert and you're quiet, you can often assume that people who are more extroverted or more, speak more are more confident. But that's often not true. Like, some extroverts actually talk more because they're not confident. Like, they just can't think of what they're saying and they're just talking more to da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen someone talking super like nervously out of just like they can't shut up, right? I'm not saying all extroverts do that, but like that's not always the case that just someone who is more, sociable or more talkative is actually more confident. So first of all, recognizing that not most people are born not with confidence, right? We are not born with that skill. It's something that has to be developed over time. And the thing that happens is that confidence can be developed over time. Every single time we practice and put ourselves in situations that are new to us and grow us and things that we do are courageous, we feel more confident, So like if you are always scared of doing anything, if you never ride a bike, if you never learn how to drive a car, if you never go after your true love, if you never, do this, if you never go after your dream, you're never going to feel confident because you've never even faced the things that scare you, right? And so we have to actually do the things that scare us. And so the thing that we need in order to gain confidence is not actually confidence. It's courage. It's courage to recognize that I am a beginner, that I don't know what I'm doing, that I probably will fail, that this won't work out the very first time, and that's all okay. I'm still going to have the courage to try it. So think about just any skill for a second. Let's think about piano playing for a moment, right? I have absolutely no confidence in playing the piano. Does that mean that I suck with the piano or that I could never learn the piano? Well, not really. It just means that I haven't practiced it. I don't know how to play the piano, right? And if I actually had the courage to go after that, if that's what I wanted to do, I would start as a beginner and I would probably suck at first, and that's okay. That's how all beginners start. And then I would slowly get better and slowly get better and slowly get better. And so first it's courage, right? First it's courage to actually start the thing, do the thing. And then through time, through practice, through trying over and over and over and over and over again, finally we get to what you could call competence, right? And then through competence is where we actually get confidence. So confidence kind of happens last. And that's why sometimes being confident in an alcohol-free lifestyle means that we've practiced it, right? We've practiced it. We've practiced telling people no. We practiced telling people I'm a non-drinker. We've practiced really choosing going alcohol-free day in, day in, day in out. I mean, someone could be alcohol-free for 10 years and still have to have a brand new conversation with a taxi driver about not drinking. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even matter how far along you are. Like, there's always new people that you have to explain it to, right? There's always someone that you have to share that you don't drink. And so, right, we can get more confident in an alcohol-free lifestyle as we also mentally change our concept of alcohol, as we actually change how we think about it and really, really relegate it as something that's like, been there, done that. I'm so over that. I'm so ready for the new. And so again, when I'm talking about how to build more confidence in your life, you don't start with confidence. And especially not with going after your dreams. Nobody starts with confidence, because confidence would mean that you've already done it and you have already accomplished it and you don't even need to do it anymore, right? And no one's in that boat if we're looking at something that's ahead of us. So you start with courage. And with courage, you start as a beginner and you start just trying, and you start just trying and trying and trying. And then you practice and practice and practice. And through that, you get to competence, and then eventually to confidence, right? That's how I feel as a public speaker. So like I said, grew up really shy. You would think I would be the last person who wants to do public speaking. I've spoken on stages. I'm leading this workshop, right? But it's something that I've practiced over and over and over now in my career. And so nowadays, I don't get nervous for it as much anymore. And, maybe there's still a really, really big audience I'll get very nervous for, don't worry about that. I probably will. But right now I don't get that nervous for it anymore because I've practiced it so many times, right? I've gotten to the level of competence with it. But it all started with that first step of having just courage to do it the first time. And oh my God, was I nervous the first few times, right? So this is kind of like the methodology we need to use. So let me go back to my original point of now, how do we actually break this down into a day? What does a growth lifestyle look like? And that's just what we're going to call this, okay? It's a growth lifestyle, both because you're growing away from your alcohol identity and you're growing towards your dream identity, right? You're the version of you that achieves all the things that you want, especially the things that you mentioned if you won the lottery. Those are all your dreams, right? So we're growing away from the version of us that uses alcohol, and then we're growing towards the version of us that achieves all our dreams. So this is a growth lifestyle. What does a growth lifestyle look like on a day in, day out basis? Well, first of all, I think it takes quite a bit of introspection and quite a bit of working on yourself. And what does that actually look like in a physical, 3D way? It's taking the time aside from everything you have going on in your life. And I know we all have such busy, busy schedules to actually devote to yourself. And one of my favorite ways to do that, for example, is a morning routine, right? A morning routine is this idea that you wake up a little bit earlier than you're used to waking up in order to have pure me time. It's not the time to take care of the kids. It's not the time to make lunches. It's not the time to race around and try to get everything ready before you leave the house or whatnot. It's this breath of fresh air where you just get to work on you. And through that morning routine that I have and that, I've been building for many years now, I might do various different things depending on the season, but it's usually some form of journaling. It's some form of, visualizing and affirming my dream life. It's some form of connecting with ideas that inspire me. So I might read a self-development book that really inspires me. Maybe even if I have a really short morning routine that day, like I really am running around a little bit, maybe I'll just put on a podcast that's super uplifting while I'm in the shower, right? And so having this kind of morning routine in the one side of things really, really helps me make sure that I am carving out every morning, every day to work on my dreams. And that's kind of like when you get into your executive CEO mindset as well. And this is a really great analogy, even if you don't want to be a CEO technically, and I say, why not? the CEO mindset is like where you really look at it from a high picture every day and you look at, okay, this is how I want my day to go. Like you can plan at this time, right? You can really see like what is the biggest needle moving things I could do today to get closer and closer to my bigger dreams, right? And I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know what's up with Facebook, but I can't see your comments. I can see that there are comments, but I can't actually see them right now, so I'm going to address them later. But keep sharing. Like I said, the more you share, the more comments you make, the more entries you have to win the 3 prizes that are going to be given away during this workshop. First prize is a free scholarship to become emboldened. Prize number 2 is a set of my favorite self-development books that have really changed the game for me. And prize number 3 is a 4-pack of King Euphoric mocktails. So keep commenting. I will promise I will get to you as I finish up this live. I don't know what's going on with Facebook right now. I just can't see them. But anyway, so having a daily routine where you fit in growth is super important. And even having that moment of time where you plan your action steps. What am I going to have the courage to do today? What small baby step can I take that gets me closer to my dreams? So many of the dreams I read, so many of them don't actually take $10 million, right? Let me say that again. So many of the dreams that I read about don't take $10 million. And yes, you have to be creative and you have to be willing to try to find the solution to like how to achieve your dream now. But I promise you, 99.9% of your dreams, you can get started today. There's something you can do that can move you closer to that dream. So for example, if you wanted to open a gym or some kind of like wellness center, how could you start researching that today? Maybe you don't have the money to put the down payment down. I understand that, but how could you start researching that today? How could you start making connections in that world and really learning from other people who are doing that, right? There's always something we can do today. If your dream was to travel more, where do you want to travel, right? Like pinpoint your bucket list trip. Is your bucket list trip to like Australia or Antarctica? Like, why not start planning that you could actually take that trip in a year or so from now if you really plan ahead, if you save the money and stuff and you do the research, right? Like every single one of us has that power in order to do so. And, my brother, he's one of those guys who's like a total credit card points geek. Like he can tell you how to like what credit card to get and how much points to get here and whatever to travel basically for free. And I'm not saying that like you should go out and do that, but I'm just saying that there's actually a way to make it much easier to travel, right? Like I often do get my flight tickets for free based on my points, based on rewards that I get from my credit card. So there's so many solutions out there to get to what you want. There's so many ways to get closer to the thing you actually want to do. You know what I mean? For example, if you wanted to live by the sea, let's say you live really inland right now and you really want to live by the sea. Maybe it's not feasible right now for you to actually buy a house at the sea and move your whole family, right? I understand that. But couldn't you rent a house maybe for a week this summer? Couldn't that be like your family vacation or something? How can we get started on our dreams just a little bit? And I really do believe that having a morning routine where you reconnect with your intuition, with your higher self, with, something inspirational, like maybe a book or a podcast, it really helps you to get in the right frame of mind in order to be able to see these needle moving things that you can do, right? Having the kind of growth lifestyle that you need in order to achieve it. And at the same time, work on healing and growing yourself. Because here's the thing, most of the deep limiting beliefs that we have, that I have too, that I've like struggled with, that I've cleared a lot, and I still have more to go to clear, I'll be honest with you. A lot of those come down to having lower self-worth. And let me tell you, having a relationship with alcohol is guaranteed way to lower your self-worth over time. Doesn't matter who you are, how you drink, having a relationship with alcohol is gonna guarantee that you will lower your self-worth over time, right? You break promises to yourself, you don't wake up feeling well in the morning, almost telling yourself that you don't deserve to wake up feeling well, all the things that happen when you're in a relationship with alcohol. I mean, like the toxic situations I got into when I was in my early 20s, like all of this just goes to say you're not worthy, you're not worthy, you're not worthy. And so part of our alcohol-free journeys really needs to surround building up our worth, building up the idea that, yes, I deserve happiness. I deserve success. I deserve abundance. I deserve love and connection, right? And there's going to be a point of time where you're going to have to change what you believe you deserve. Because there's always some kind of limit. There is always a limit to how much you believe you deserve. It could be down here, it could be somewhere in the middle, but it's always going to be a certain limit that will stop you and make you feel like, I don't deserve more than that, right? And so part of our journeys on healing our relationship with alcohol is actually claiming that, yes, I do deserve and I am worthy. And this isn't going to happen overnight, right? The words come so easily to just say that's what we need to do, but it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, right? It's a process of changing your internal beliefs about yourself and about the world. It's a process of healing the reasons why you drank. It's a process of processing any past pains and traumas. It's a process of just getting to a point where you believe in yourself again and you truly, truly do have this expectation that your dreams are going to work out for you. Can I say that honestly today, there's dreams that I've achieved and I'm so proud of myself for achieving. In fact, the dreams that I first set out to achieve 5 years ago, I've achieved every single one of them, right? So I'm super proud of myself. I'm super excited about that. But I have also new and bigger dreams, like really big dreams, right? And I haven't achieved those. And sometimes I don't even feel like I'm really that close. You know, like I haven't achieved a lot of things I still want to do. And sometimes I can get down about that too. But the thing is I changed the way I think about it. Instead of thinking about it as it hasn't happened yet, so that means it probably won't happen, I've completely changed my mindset. My mindset is now, the universe very firmly, clearly gave me that dream. I have this dream for a reason. It is definitely in my destiny to achieve it. It just hasn't happened yet, right? I'm not controlling the timeline. I'm going to be a little patient. It just hasn't happened yet. Right? And so we can kind of let go a little bit and just have 100% faith. If you could have 100% faith that your dream will happen to you, that you will achieve it, you just don't know the exact timeline, is that okay with you? Maybe it'll happen a year, maybe it'll happen in 5 years, who cares, right? At least it's happening. And that's kind of the expectation that I have. I know that I haven't achieved my dreams yet, but the story isn't over yet. Right? My life isn't over yet. I have my whole career to achieve the dreams that I still have on my heart, right? I'm not going to rush the universe. And so that helps me know that A, my dream is inevitable. It will happen. I know it will happen. But B, it also helps me relax and not put so much pressure on myself and not feel like a failure because I haven't achieved it yet. Right? And when I say let go, I don't mean let go of taking action, right? We still want to continue to take action and take baby steps towards our dream, but I mean let go of the expectation of when it's going to happen, right? Because so many of your dreams right now seem like they're so far away from you, and they don't have to be, right? The expectation could even be that they happen much sooner, or that the reality is that they happen much sooner, but we start working on them with that firm belief that they are happening. They're not going to happen in an alternate reality. They're happening in this lifetime, guaranteed. And as long as I just keep taking baby step after baby step after baby step towards them, I will achieve them. And so how does this work? You know, what I love to do when I work with women is go through a process of not only healing and clearing the reasons why they drank, really then setting up a lifestyle that invites in this type of growth, that really sets up routines for yourself and really sets you up to have incredibly healthy boundaries and really form love and connection and deeper relationships with people, and find a sister circle of people who believe in you and who are rallying for you and are going for you, right? Because all of those things are so important when it comes to achieving our dreams. And with that, you know, Become Emboldened is one of my more advanced programs that helps women not only heal the reasons why they drink and make alcohol a smaller part of their history and their rearview window so that they don't romanticize it, they don't yearn for it, they don't want to go back to it, but then sets them up to be able to achieve their dreams. And we do that through things like talking about and clearing imposter syndrome, how to set goals, for example, how to know what you want and then find the roadmap to achieve it, how to, for example, write a book, because I know that's a very common dream of yours, how to launch a business, because that's also another common dream, how to really embody the kind of travel and or adventurous lifestyle you might want. And we set up a roadmap in order to achieve those things. And we do that through really clearing those limiting beliefs, really setting up our system of goals and our system of having a routine for growth and self-worth and building all that up. And one of the more important things that really comes into rebuilding self-worth And again, I just said earlier that self-worth will always plummet with a relationship with alcohol, but I think also self-worth is something every human will deal with. Every single human will struggle with their self-worth, but especially women because of the way we were socialized, of the expectations placed on us, of the different ways that we have to be this and this and this and this all the time. I mean, there's just so much more placed on women's shoulders of who they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to act in this society, and, you know, a lot of contradictions right at that, right? Like, right, you don't want to be too slutty and you don't want to be a bore, right? Like there's just so much contradictions of either you're not enough or you're too much when it comes to being a woman. And so with that, the self-worth can often be so low. And I just remember my self-worth was so low when I started this journey, right? Before I ditched alcohol, my self-worth was in the shambles. But something that really helped was devoting time to work on myself, devoting the actual time it took to work on myself and work on my dreams, because that told my subconscious, you are important. The things you care about matter. You matter. Your dreams matter. You are worthy. And B, I also learned how to invest in myself. I learned how to, you know, I grew up in a super frugal household. Like my parents immigrated from a communist country. They scraped every little penny. You know, spending money on anything even remotely frivolous was so outside of the norm of me growing up. And so I really learned to feel bad about spending any kind of money, right? And while saving and being prudent and investing and all those things are super good and super important, it went to the extreme where I felt so guilty. Even buying my website, it was $20, right? My website domain was $20. And that's literally the same price of one brewery visit, right? Like that is nothing. That is nothing in the grand scheme of things, right? Of like the money we're willing to spend on alcohol all the time. But I remember when I bought my website domain, I was like, ooh, do I really deserve to spend $20 a year on this? It was so hard because I was like, what if I don't use it? And all these stories I was telling myself. So while it was so easy to invest in the alcohol industry, it was so easy to be like, yep, here's my money every week. Here you go, alcohol industry. To actually put that money back into something that I cared about, my dreams, my investment, coaching, personal development, all those things was so hard. But I learned how to do it. And every single time I did it, it scared me, but it also really taught my psyche and my subconscious, you are worthy. You are worthy to be worked on. And when you think of any asset that we have, like we are the most important asset in our lives, right? Like investing in yourself over the alcohol industry is one of the most radical things you could ever do. And whatever that looks like for you, right? It could be a program, it could be a coach, it could be a therapist, it could be, I don't know, a book. Like you get to define what it looks like for you. I'm not going to define that for you, but choose yourself. Choose yourself, at least with some level of priority, right? That you are just as important as anything else you devote your time and energy to and money to as well. Your development is what really makes your dreams happen. There's this saying in entrepreneurship that the business owner's revenue will never outpace their level of self-development. That they will never have a high revenue if their self-development is down here. That all the revenue, all the things that we want are all matched to how much self-development we're willing to do and that we're willing to take the time for, the priority for, the investment for. So if it sounds good for you to do that together with me in the program Become Emboldened, we start on June 12th. The last call will be June 14th. So that's coming up pretty soon. I'm going to share all of you the link to get enrolled if that is what you're interested in. It's a 4-month group coaching program to not only heal the reasons why you drank, make alcohol a smaller part of your lives, but then really set up the lifestyle, the goals, and the implementation steps to achieve your dream. Last time, I have to share this, I don't have it with me, but this incredible woman wrote a children's book. Like literally from start to finish, she wrote an incredible children's book. It's up on Amazon now. She's sharing it with the world. And that was like something she never believed she could have done before that. She wrote a children's book. Now she's working on her second book and becoming an alcohol-free life coach. We have multiple women who are becoming alcohol-free life coaches from the last round. Multiple women have written books before. One woman in the last round before that became a motivational speaker and actually started getting accepted to these huge conferences around the world. I mean, it's just incredible what happens when you focus on your dreams. And let me just repeat the quote one more time because I love it so much. Fill your brain with giant dreams so there's no room for petty pursuits. I really do believe that focusing on your dreams and how you can serve the world will be a massive healing journey for you as well. And you don't have to do it in a way that puts pressure on you, right? It all gets to be fun. It all gets to be something you're curious about. It all gets to be this new world that you're awakening where you try new things and you take courageous steps and you go for it. And even if you've achieved a lot in your life, I know there's always something that we haven't achieved yet that is more personal, right? Maybe sometimes it's easy to achieve things for other people. Like I was really good at getting master's degrees. I was really good at like those kinds of things that look good on paper, but I wasn't ever doing the things that I wanted to do and follow my heart, you know? And sometimes too, even when we do achieve some of the dreams we have on our hearts, there's always a next level. For example, maybe you're a business owner, right? And you've been working in your business for a while and it's like this incredible journey you've been on, but now you're being called to write a book and now you're being called to expand your wisdom and your vision for more and more people, right? Or maybe you're being called to have more visibility or so, or maybe you're being called to really, really share the gift in a really greater way with the world. So there's always a next level. There's always an next dream. You know, like I said earlier, I've achieved most of the dreams that I set out to achieve 5 years ago when I was first just like awakened to the possibilities of an alcohol-free lifestyle. And now I have bigger dreams. Now there's this entire roadmap ahead of me. And I try not to, again, let myself get down about the fact that I haven't achieved those. I look at all the success I've already had, and every single one of you already has success you can point to. Every single one of you has something you can be proud of. And it's not in the homework, but I really want to assign you this in this day. I want you to create a victory list for me. I want you to go through back in time and create and write down everything you're proud of ever doing, right? Like when you graduated college, when you graduated second grade, when you got your driver's license, when you got married, when you had your first kid, when you got this job promotion, when you took this test, like whatever, when you decided to quit alcohol, like whatever you feel proud of ever doing in your life. When you climbed that mountain, when you did that 5K, write it all down. Because we get so good and so in our heads of thinking of all the things that prevent us from going after our dreams, we forget of the whole history that we have that actually proves you're way more capable and competent and smart and just have everything going for you than you think. We just choose to kind of ignore all that stuff, even if it feels like common. Well, you know what? Not everyone does the things you've done in your life, so be freaking proud of it. Write it down. So write me down a victory list of all the things you're proud of doing in your life and try to get up to at least 30. I actually assigned the coaches in my alcohol-free coaching program how to do it to 100 because then it'll really stretch you, but try at least to get to 30. I think that will also be a really powerful exercise for you to see how you're just stacking victories after victories. So why couldn't you achieve your dreams, right? Even though sometimes I get down that I haven't achieved my next dreams yet, I remember I got grit and I got gumption and I have ambition and I'm inspired. And it's just a matter of time before I achieve those. And that is so true for you too. You've ditched alcohol for a reason. You reevaluated the role of it in your life. You're here for a reason. Don't ever forget that. So in your workbook, you also have some questions on what growth means to you, what it means to build a more confident lifestyle, especially in your alcohol-free lifestyle. Are there still reasons that you need to heal around your relationship with alcohol and all the things that came from that? And that's, trust me, that's like a process, right? Like there's still stuff coming up that's like, oh my gosh, yep, that is something I need to heal, right? And if you are so excited to join me and become emboldened, I'd love to meet you there. I'd love to see you there. It is one of my favorite programs to run because it's just us women getting so excited and then taking action on our dreams as we affirm our alcohol-free identity and really have just this rallying support with each other. It's 4 months. It starts June 12th and it lasts until October 14th. So it's the perfect program to get your goals to completion over the summer. And I have to tell you that the only reason I have a book published in this world is because I joined a program like this that helped me write my book proposal. They didn't help me write my book proposal per se, but it was the accountability I needed to do it, right? And that's what's so powerful about a really strong container of, you know, women who are rallying you, coach who is going to mentor you, and then all the steps you have laid before you on how to achieve your goal. So check it out. You're going to get an email pretty soon about it. I love you, whether you're ready to join or not. You are so amazing. amazing. I'm so proud of you. Like, you are doing so incredible things by being brave and courageous and changing your relationship with alcohol and rediscovering who you are, right? There's nothing more incredible than that. Have a beautiful rest of your day today.